Hi, I'm Timothy Zahn, author of Thrawn, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast. This episode was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with both having decades of hosting experience under their belt, the one thing we are sure of is you will be entertained. This is the Escape Podcast, a weekly look into the mobile game Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the Nerdy Network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Neil, do you have that room packed up yet? It's time to go. We gotta go.
Just hold on. It's not my fault that Noob left his comic collection all over the entire ship. I knew that Heli taking him to Jay and Silent Bob's secret stash was a bad idea.
But he found some really, really cool stuff.
Anyway, this is the show open. Aren't we supposed to be, talking about what the show has in store today?
I mean, it is, but it isn't. I mean, we could do an entire show as if nothing is going to be happening, which I would like to at least cover the kit for Dr. Aphra.
We have a few other kits too.
But what would be the point here? It's been long enough. I'm sure people have read it by now. Let's go out the way we came in, laughing, joking, making witty comments.
That was 195 episodes ago.
Yeah, and it was almost also 4 years ago.
February the 1st, 2019, right?
Yeah, we did the show from Discord only back then. It was definitely an interesting time.
Fridays are not going to be the same for us anymore.
Well, hopefully our listeners are going to be okay with the change. And, it is a change.
Well, you haven't told them the secret yet.
No, you're right. With the exception of a trusted few, I have not told anyone what is going to happen, but it's not bad.
Let's just hope your plan works out. We can't just disappear as if nothing's ever happened.
I mean, Neil, Hondo's in the game. That will never be taken away from me.
You mean us?
You helped, I'll never deny that, but it was Scotty who, encouraged me to start officially asking back in June of 2019.
Where did the music go?
Oh, this is just an extended show open. I mean, it's where we do something just a little differently because it is a special episode.
You and your bloody radio stunts.
Hey, you can take the man out of broadcasting, but you're never going to take the flair for the dramatic out of the man.
Can we just get to the live part of the show now and start talking about everything?
I mean, we can, and we will. Let's start doing that right about now.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the last ever episode of the Escape Pod.
Neil, just I don't want a full show.
Okay.
I didn't want a full show of waiting for you to say cast. By the way, really quick, we gotta go down the list. Lizzie Jonko, Jedi Rules, Dr. Feelgood, Flair of Gaming Embers, Lizzie Jonko with the 100 bits, Dr. Feelgood with 666 bits. We are on a hype train during the open of the first show, or the last show, of the first segment. If you guys get the hype train going, you guys did get the hype train going. Let's see how far we can get this. If you're willing, let's have some fun. But first off, as you said it, Neil, it's the last show. Of course, we're always joined by Kyle Preston, inspired AI by the name of Bob. Bob, it's been 4 weeks since we've been on.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
And you guys were supposed to do something, but it got all caught up.
Yeah, just Christmas was crazy for us, so it was crazy for everyone.
And then the storm forced Flair out of his home. So
that's what ended it. Yeah.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna try not to cry. Thank you, Oscar, for the 2,000 bits. We appreciate that. Why does Paul look like a 70s version of Arnold? This is who I am. This is who I am. This is the real me. I've got brand new glasses. Yes, they are tinted yellow. But, you know, I was born before Arnold, so he came after me, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's the word.
This is going to be tough to get through, but I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. Neil, thoughts going into the show? And yes, we do know that Neil is delayed by a quarter second. For those watching on video, we know this is mainly audio anyway. Go ahead, Neil.
Let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be, you know me. I'm Mr. Stoic over here. You know, I'm.
I
don't wear my emotions on my sleeve.
You know what? Take that off. This is a celebration. This is a remembrance of everything. February 1st, as we said in the open, February 1st, 2019, we started this show, Scotty and I, and we wanted to just bring our radio experience to the community of Galaxy of Heroes. And when we did that, a lot of people, you know, we took a few people by surprise. We really did. Because what we did is we took an experience that we knew was proven in the greater
scheme of things.
Thank you very much, Cascade, for the 100 bits. But then thank you, Dr. Feelgood, for the 200. But then we mixed it with today's, you know, meme and internet culture. I mean, Scotty of all people loves his pop culture. Lizzie Jocko, thank you for the 100 bits. We're about to break our ever hype train record. See if we could do that in another 2 minutes. I'm going to say a lot today, and I apologize because this is going to kind of be an emotional day. Dr. Feelgood with his shiny nickel Oscar Meow breaking the record with 500 bits. Thank you. Steel Eye calls me Ponold. This is not going to be your typical Escape podcast. We are going to talk about the Afro kit because this kit is awesome. Awesome. D Popeye, thank you for the 500 bits. Sephiranus, thank you for the 100 bits.
Yes, so we're going to talk about Afro.
Yeah, I mean, the show. Talking about the show here real quick before everything. When Scotty left, you know, I've mentioned this before to you, Neil. I was looking for that right person, and damn it, you were the right person to do this with. So I wanted.
Well, you got to remember, I was already doing story time with the Nev.
Exactly.
I was already doing story time with the Nev. So it was, you know, it was an Englishman being thrown in the mix with an Aussie and an American. But then obviously, you know, like you said, you asked me to take over from Scotty so that Scotty could step down. And then I switched over to doing the show, and we got Thad. We got the Llama to do.
Llama did story time. Yes, Llama did story time
with the. So the Llama took over the story time duties, and I took over Scotty's duties.
And Llama did that for 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah. The Llama did it for donkey's years. Yeah, absolutely forever.
And an amazing job. Thank you, Llama, for everything that you did for this show. Everything from the initial when the show first came about. Lizzie Jonko with 100 bits. Loki coming in with 1,000 bits.
Loki.
Thank you, Loki.
Sexy Buddha himself. Taking time out from his harem of women. Oh my goodness.
It's Llama took story time, which you developed, and just kicked it up a notch, which I guess that's what I want to say. I want to say thank you, Llama, for being there from the beginning. until your departure. And even in your departure, we still are, we're still here. We're,
Yeah.
you know,
and don't forget,
we still
at
love
the same
you.
time, don't forget the same time that Llama took over the storytime duties, was the same time that Helly started doing his
Right.
well, not story times, but he started doing the Helly and the Noob stuff.
Yep. Now for something completely shameless, as we called that, behind the scenes. Arcane Druid with 100 bits, D Popeye with another 100 bits, Lizzie Jonko with 151, Cascade with a shiny nickel. Thank you guys. We're very close. There's this little squiggly line up on the top where the hype train is. Seeing if we get past that little squiggly line. Dr. Feelgood with also another shiny nickel.
Get us past the squiggly line. Come on, people. I never shill for the show, but it would be nice to break our record with our last ever show.
And I think it's about to tell us that we did break the record. All-time record shattered.
Yeah, all-time record shattered. There we go.
Thank you very, very much. We are now into the level 5 hype train. Okay, there we go. If we get past this, I cannot promise there will not be crying. After, Helly, who, by the way, I spent time with Helly just this past, just 2 weeks ago. And
you went to New York, didn't you?
I'm passing along. You know this is from him with the way that it's going to be said. Nothing but love for all you Padawans. You wanted me to pass that along. So, Flair giving out 2 subs. Oscar with another 250 bits. Thank you very much, guys.
I'm not subbed. Somebody shame sub me. Somebody shame sub me.
Arcade with another 100 bits. After all this, Dickie took over when Helly needed to step away. That was the whole change that the following season. And I guess this is the change for this season. Not one to be taken lightly, but it is happening. Sephiranus with 5 subs. Lizzie Jonko giving out a sub, I think, to you. No, Lizzie to Mr. Jigabachi. You still aren't subbed yet, Neil. By the way, we did just.
There we go. So there's still time for someone to. There's still some time for someone to shame sub me to my own show.
We did just break into 5th through level 5. So thank you guys. After all of this, I guess the big addition in the past season was the addition of that guy that's in between us. Is Kyle Preston's protege.
Bob.
Yeah, that was definitely the highlight. That was the peak of the show, was when I came in, for sure.
No, I think that's when it jumped the shark.
Instead of throwing abuse, I needed somebody to throw abuse out, and I thought, hey, let's take the Red Dwarf Holly concept and make it our own, and then we can throw abuse at that artificial intelligence, despite the fact that they're not artificial intelligence. So yeah.
And Bones has grown up being treated like that his whole life, so he was meant for this part, I think, to accept old Nev's abuse. You should see what he does off camera. I mean, it's horrible. But I love him no matter what.
Flair does point out the switch to Twitch, which Flair was part of when we did that 3 years ago, literally 3 years ago.
Yeah, we did not spend long on YouTube. The 30-second delay was just horrendous. It's like, we have to switch to Twitch. We have got to go to Twitch. And then we did that first show on Twitch, and it's like 30-second delay or a 3-second delay. And it was a no-brainer. That was it. Bye-bye live streaming on YouTube. Never again.
Cass with 50 bits with a little gravestone, along with Dr. Feelgood with 69 bits. With the little gravestone. Popeye with another 500 bits. And Whitefly coming in with the sub for themselves. Thank you very much. Lord of the Dart says, I should be in bed, but guys, thank you for everything you've done over the years. You both are great guys. Well done and congratulations. You will be missed.
There we go. Flair has shame subbed me.
It's going to be interesting to have Fridays back, quote unquote. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be doing the production of the show. I guess it's time to explain this. I'm still going to be doing the production of the show. And I'm talking about this very show that you're watching right now. What is going to happen is we're handing it off to people that definitely deserve the TEPc bump. And we're going to get to that in the last segment. So if you're coming in soon, this is all of our last show for the Escape Pod cast. So, yeah. That's what this is all about. Why don't we get into some news, and then we'll talk a little bit more. 3 minutes. I'm going to try not to blubber here. Level 7 hype train right now. 2:53 on the clock for this segment. Dr. Feelgood with 37 bits. D Popeye with another 100 bits. And as you said, Flair gave you the sub.
I saw you coming in with a 69, Dr. Feelgood.
D Popeye with another 100. Dr. Afra is a dark side leader support scoundrel. The thing that I loved about when her kit was revealed was the fact that she summons a hacked commando droid. The first key attribute of this was that she's also a summoning character. She siphons potency. She of course works with BD and Trips.
Mm-hmm.
Additional synergy with Vader and Kersatin, which is great. Glad that they put BK in there with her. Potent debuffs that debilitate, and multiple Omicron abilities, just like Starkiller. I mean, flat out, just like Starkiller. I don't know if I mentioned
to be honest with you, I think that's her. That's a greater appeal, is that she's going to be awesome when it comes to GAC.
She absolutely is. Thank you, D Popeye, for the next other 100. Go ahead, Neil.
Not withholding the datacons, obviously. She's without datacons on that team and without datacons on an opposing team, she's going to be boss. But obviously, trying her against or whatever her team makeup is against a datacron could very well just completely and utterly fall flat. So you just need, I'm going for her anyway because I've already got Hando Relic and placeholded at Relic 5. So I'll definitely be farming the other 3 in order to get Afra. I just don't know how effective she's going to be against, datacons. So I'm when I'm facing the datacons, I probably won't be using her because I don't do GAC when I face people with datacons. But when I face an opponent who doesn't place datacons, yeah, we're going to have some fun with her.
Exactly. Thank you, Going Nerdy, for the 100 bits. Thank you, Cass, for the 100 bits. We got 30 seconds. I doubt we're going to hit 8. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. So her basic is Destructive Excavation. Kind of, a perfect nod to that she is an archaeologist. Thank you, Popeye, for the 300 bits. Deal special damage to target enemy if they're a droid, stun them. On Afra's turn, she gains 10% max protection, stacking up to 50. So five basics, and she's at her maximum protection. And 2 siphon, that's going to come in handy here until the end of the encounter. Hype train is complete. You guys gifted a total of 17 gift subs and 7,938 bits. Thank you very much. We're gonna
chew effing chew.
We're still, we're here. We're here until the end of this show, and if you guys want to do it again later on when the party's happening, I look forward to it. So it's a basic that increases protection. That is a Starkiller-esque good basic. Thank you, Thaddeus, for the 1,000 bits. So she's got a very, very powerful basic to begin with. But then her special 1, Dangerous Tech. It has a Zeta with a cooldown of 3. It inflicts accuracy down for 2 turns on the enemy. Dark side allies will gain potency up and 10% turn meter. Darkside droid allies gain critical damage up and offense up for 2 turns and recover 30% health and protection. And then revive a random non-separatist Darkside droid ally. And then it says BT1 and 000. So revive one of those 2. And those 2, remember, those 2 droids are already pretty badass in their own accord.
Yeah, I mean, I've got them. I mean, obviously, they're farmable now, which is good. I'm farming for both of them. It's going to take a while, but I mean, they're both sat at gear 11. Ready to bump to 12 and 13, and then up to relic 5. As soon as I've got them, they'll all of them will go straight to relic 5 because I want that dog Afra. Because I like those. I loved the Starkiller one. Absolutely loved that event. Thought it was absolutely cracking. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to trying the Dr. Afra one. I think that's going to be a great one as well, and it's going to be an awesome team.
At the start, by the way, this has additional stuff, but for the first special, at the start of battle, if there's no GLs and all allies are Darkside droids. So if you put Chrysanthemum in this team, this does not apply.
It's not going to apply. Well,
actually, I'm sorry.
HK's finally got a home.
I forgot that this gets a little bit farther. Darkside Scoundrels, Chrysanthemum, or Darth Vader. So it does work. Summon the Hacked Commando droid. And if a Hacked Commando droid is already present, when you use the first special, inflict breach and target lock on the target enemy for 2 turns, and call the droid to assist. And it deals damage as true damage equal to 20% of Afra's potency. You already want to pump her potency up with the use of mods. That's how you mod Afra if you get her high potency and high speed, because you're wanting her to
speed
get
and speed, definitely speed and potency. I'm to be honest with you, I mean, in threes, it's just going to be her and her 2 droids. But in 5v5, I'm probably still going to be more inclined to go down the HK route because I like the Wookiee with my bounty hunters. I do prefer using him with my bounty hunters, so I'm probably going to go HK and maybe Droidica. Because I tend to take Droidica out of the Separatist droids and throw Newt in there to use on JML teams. So there's my 2 Darkside droids to help with Afra, and that's probably going to be my team. I can't see anybody really wanting to put Vader. Yes, the Vader bonuses are there, but Vader's an integral part of a lot of other Darkside teams. So it's too much to sacrifice, I think.
Or the people that continue to put down Old Republic Karth leads. I mean, you use Vader right there. So far, what do you think?
No, I mean the old Karth ones. I just use OG Kylo solo for those old Karth teams. Vader's good for the Geo solos, for the people that it's like, seriously, you're going to put your Geos down. You do realize I have a Relic 7 Vader and he's just going to chew them up and spit them out, right? But they still do it. They still put the Geos on defense. It's like lambs to the slaughter. Well, bugs to the slaughter.
Yeah, my Vader doesn't have a home. It's just like it's used against Geos, like you said, or a Mon Mothma team or something with Traya. So I'd be down to put it with Afra.
From the first 2 abilities, Bob, what are your thoughts about this?
She sounds pretty fun. I'm excited to get her. I'm pretty close to.
Yeah, how far are you so far?
I got about a month before I finished and unlocked Jabba. I'm pretty close with that, and then I'm going right into her. Right. So I'm currently farming the droids. I'm working on them because all I got to do is relic a couple people, and I'm done with Jabba. So it'll be probably 2 months before I get her, maybe a little longer. But no, she sounds fun. And is she out yet?
Yeah, of course she's out yet.
Yeah, I remember
she's out.
So
she's out. The event is out. You got to remember the event's going to run from the event will run from the journey guide
forever.
So what's
It's not like
everyone's
Grand Inquisitor.
I haven't really heard much about her. What's everyone else's consensus about it?
We haven't
Have
had
you
a
heard?
chance to play with her in 5v5 because she came out right after the lock of the last
came
one.
out after the lock.
Oh, okay.
So we're
That's
going to
why.
see how she does right out of the bat in 3v3 Grand Arena
God.
with the droids.
Yeah.
And then wait till you see those Omicron, Treya, Savage, and Talon teams in 3v3.
Yeah.
Be ready for that too.
That's definitely going to be a fun one. I'll continue on here just so we keep on time here. Special 2 Rogue Archaeology, which does have the Omicron. Cooldown of 4. Final text deals special damage to all enemies, increasing their cooldowns by 1. Inflict doubt. Remember doubt from the Malgus kit.
Yep.
Inflict doubt on them for 2 turns. An Aphra siphons potency from the target enemy, which can't be resisted. It also cannot be countered. So, those counterattacking teams ain't doing crap in this. Siphon potency. Gain a percentage of potency equal to this unit's siphon until the end of the encounter, and the target loses that much potency. Stacking, excluding raid bosses and galactic legends. So, remember, if you gain a percentage of potency equal to this unit's siphon, remember her potency is what is fueling that special. So 5% of a previous 5% can get very, very weighty, especially when you deal with the world of exponents. Exponentially, this damage can be ramped up high. Now, of course, yes, there are teams that are out there that are faster than Aphra. They're gonna, you get a fracture on Thrawn, you're not gonna see much action out of or you get a fracture with Thrawn, you're not gonna see much of a siphoning in this situation. In 5v5 Grand Arenas, deal bonus damage to target enemy based on 50% of Aphra's potency. Inflict buff immunity, healing immunity, and stagger on the enemy for 2 turns. When she's in the leader slot at the start of battle, Aphra gains, this is her leader ability, Aphra gains max health and max protection equal to 30% of her potency, and if beats and trips are there, she gains 50% turn meter for each. So she can go right away.
If she's with them, it's effectively a bonus turn.
Yep.
It's effectively a bonus turn. I mean, it's still not going to beat that. It's still not going to beat a Han. It's still not going to beat a Wat. But because that is a bonus turn, that's not a turn meter. It's not a turn meter trick. That's an actual. It's an actual thing. It's got nothing to do with turn meter. They just get that turn. But anybody else, they're effective. Yeah, she's effectively going first.
Dark side allies have plus 20% offense as well. She is an ally to herself. Remember that, so she gets an extra 20% offense. And then dark side droid, HK as you mentioned, Kursant and Vader also get plus 20% max health. Whenever a dark side ally inflicts a debuff, they gain 5% offense for a turn, and Aphra gains 5 more siphon until the end of the encounter. If the dark side ally is a droid, Vader or Kursant, I'm just going to say the rogues gallery from here on out. Then they instead gain 10% offense for 1 turn, and Aphra gains 10 siphon until the end of the encounter. This is not Omicron, mind you. This is straight up her Zeta.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Dr. Aphra or the rogues gallery the droids inflict a debuff, they gain 10% turn meter. So it does not say once per turn. So if they're inflicting multiple debuffs, every 10% for every debuff. Whenever an enemy falls below 30% health, the person who fell below 30% health gets exposed and they get speed down, which can't be evaded or resisted. So as soon as they're in the death knells, they're gone. The opponent is pretty much going to be toast from the next big hit, especially with that expose. Now, while they're in 5v5, Darkside Droid and Darkside Scoundrel allies have an extra 50% critical avoidance, an additional 30 speed, Neil. And Aphra gets an extra 50%, not 50% potency. Whenever a Darkside Droid ally or Darkside Scoundrel inflicts a debuff, they gain 10% turn meter. This one, the Omicron, is limited at once per turn. While enemies are debuffed, they have minus 20% tenacity. So it's just simply whatever you want to do to them with debuffs, unless they're absolutely immune to it, put Aphra in your squad and you're going to land it.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder if you can get underneath the tenacity of the Challenge Pit Gamorrean Guard.
I mean, we'll have to see. It's you know what it's like. It's always different for raid bosses. Everything is always different for raid bosses.
Well, this has nothing about the raid bosses in it.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
Exactly. So that's the leader. She's got one unique or two uniques here. I swear I read this beforehand. One unique. At the start of Aphra's turn, she and the Rogues Gallery all gain defense, offense, and tenacity equal to 30% of Dr. Aphra's potency until the start of the next turn. It's not stacking, but still, you're already increasing the potency more and more and more with each siphon.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, can you get under the Gamorrean Guard's tenacity at that point? Hacked Commando Droid ally instead, though, gains 60% offense. And while she's active, BT and Trips are allies, and they have 20% potency and plus 20 flat speed. Cass says Aphra's going to be spanking a whole lot of characters. And of course,
extra.
Dad said that's what she said. This is if what Ultimate Crafting Way says is true, that Arnold killed a Jabba squad with Aphra.
Yeah.
I like it, but it probably was all specifically modded to take on Jabba. Will it be able to take other things? Strength? Probably. But there's probably a counter to it as well, right? Blatantly obvious.
There's always one team.
If you have to take in a GL,
team that gets spanked.
And Starkiller with Palp and Mara.
She, Mara and Starkiller have just decimate Rey. I mean, it's like you see Rey on defense. I mean, I wasn't even trying in GAC in 5v5. I was chatting with somebody in a VC, and it's like, oh crap. I've got an hour and 11 minutes left to do GAC. I best go in and do something, or I won't get my rewards. And I saw the level 9 datacon on a Rey team, and I'm like, let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. Smashed her. I only lost 1 point. I think Mace Windu lost a little, like the tiniest bit of protection, but it just decimates, absolutely decimates. And we're not talking about weak GL Rey squad here. This was a full Rey GL squad and with a level 9 datacon. So
it's my favorite team.
I can really see a full Aphra squad doing the same thing. Really, if you haven't got that GL, boom, there you go.
And here's one of the things that I don't think that they're gonna go back and they're gonna touch like they did the Vader with Vader and Death Trooper and all that, or Dark Trooper. I don't think they're gonna go back and touch them because of the investment that you have to make to get people like Aphra, people like Starkiller, with the 4 characters, and taking them to relics, and then relicking your character that you've earned through the legacy tier or legacy events.
Oh yeah. I mean, Relic 7 will be Relic 7 is just going to be like the placeholder for Afra. I mean, yeah, there's going to be people that take her to 8 and 9, but this isn't like, oh, I'll placeholder them at Relic 3 or I'll placeholder them at Relic 5. No. It's Relic 7 or above for Afra.
With the new territory battles, Relic 7 is the minimum.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting that the new territory battle.
You really want to start bringing people up to 7.
Forces everyone to put everything to Relic 7. Yeah, I'm still doing Lightside Geo. I'm in a guild still doing Lightside Geo, thankfully. So yeah.
I mean, we're getting just as much, minus a little bit. We talked about that when we talked about the whole territory battle last time that we did the show. But if you can at least get 20 stars, you should be trying Row, in my opinion. Absolutely, in my opinion. Walt, I forgot one thing on her unique. The first time a Darkside droid ally falls below 50% health, they gain protection up 40% for 2 turns. So it sustains them fairly good. It's not the best, anti-death mechanic in the game, but it's a pretty good one. If you're in 5v5 Grand Arena with her, the first time a non-separatist Darkside droid or Darkside scoundrel ally falls below 20% health, they gain damage immunity. This is the Omicron. I think this is the Omicron you want first. They gain damage immunity for 1 turn. Whenever one is defeated, they inflict a damage over time on all of the enemies for 2 turns. They inflict additional damage over time for 2 turns for each relic level that the character has. So, you got a Relic 9. That's 10. That's 10. 10 dots whenever your Darkside droid friends are defeated. Afra,
that's a lot of dots.
Afra, non-separatist Darkside droids, Darkside scoundrels, and Chrysanthemum are immune to ability block and healing immunity. Not Vader. He still can be ability blocked, so he can't use Merciless Massacre. And then the droid, he's pretty... When I saw the droid, I wasn't too much impressed. His basic deals physical damage. All allies without offense up gain it for 2 turns. Its special deals physical damage to target enemy and calls the ally to assist. And its second special is lunging strike. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict armor shred for the rest of the battle. Armor shred is always good. The attack deals 20% more damage for each buff and debuff on the target enemy. That's actually the fun part of the entire hacked separatist droid, because that's a Boba Annihilate right there, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And enemies defeated by this can't be revived. So that is it's a very, 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 very powerful. You can't have the summoned unit in raids, and if it defeats a unit, it doesn't count as a unit. Just your standard summoned droid stuff. Bob, thoughts on the kit when you first read it? Or if this was your first time listening to it?
Yeah, this is the first time, and I'm amazed. Am I wrong, or does she, including the droid, inflict every single debuff there is in the game?
I mean, you don't have fracture, you don't have ransom, you don't have any of those, but it inflicts the big 5. It inflicts
Expose,
the stat.
Siphon, not fracture, but stagger, armor shred. I mean, my goodness. And then she has all that potency, so she's never going to miss. That's just, I haven't seen any footage of her. I know she's already out, but just by the sound of that, I believe that she countered a Jabba for sure.
So how close are you now, Neil? Because I know that you're kind of going after her.
Well, I mean, I'm just farming the remaining 3 characters. Obviously, I've already got Hondo,
right?
But I just have to farm the others. I mean, they're gear 11, but I can't take them beyond gear 11 until I 7-star them. So they'll go straight away. as soon as I've got them to 7 stars, but it's going to take forever. I'm not, doing refresh after refresh after refresh after refresh on them. They get farmed once a day. That's it.
The only person I have left to collect right now is Trips, because I pulled BT in a trove pack. That was fun.
All right, I didn't do any of the I could have done a trove pack, but the last time I did a trove pack, I got a character I already had. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not wasting 5k again.
There was a 5 in, what was it, 24 chance that I was going to get somebody new. So,
it's fun to do. It's fun.
Thank you to the Immortal One for following us. We appreciate you. Gee, I wonder who that could be. All right, let's take a quick break. We are actually running behind, so we're going to take a quick break. In this break, it's a simple one, but on the other side of it, we're going to look back. We're going to look back, and then we got some more fun for this last episode of the Escape Pod cast.
Are you like us and play more than one mobile game? Well, we have good news. The Escape Podcast has expanded its lineup.
There's the flagship Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes show every first and third Friday with Paul Anthony and the Nav.
And the Marvel Strike Force show on the second and fourth Fridays with Flair, Kyle, and Nick.
Join our Discord to stay up to date with these and our additional shows produced under the Nerdy Network flag.
Everything happens live on the Escape Pod Cast Twitch channel, or you can catch up on what you missed on our YouTube channel or your favorite podcast app.
Thanks for listening to the Escape Pod cast. Be nice to each other, damn it. HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod cast.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
You're listening to the Escape Pod cast.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I had to prompt pause. Like, Paul, isn't it time to come back? Don't you have a button to push?
Hey, you know, we were having a philosophical conversation about About Activision.
Yes, about Activision. Yes.
All right.
Modern Warfare 2, which I streamed last night, and we'll be doing lots more of in the future.
All right. So let's address one of the few elephants in the room here. Neil, are you quitting Galaxy of Heroes? You know, is this our swan song for leaving the game, at least for you?
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am like super casual, like stupid. I am ridiculously casual now. I actually missed my GAC daily rewards on the last round of the last week because I didn't even bother attacking. I now don't do conquest on both my accounts because I still run. It's weird. It's like, well, if you're not that into the game, why do you have two accounts? It's like I like to do different things with each account. So I like to do different things. It stops me from really getting bored with the game.
Right.
But so I don't do conquest on either. I barely do GAC. Sometimes I don't even register for GAC on the alt. But I'm in a guild that takes territory battles seriously. So I do still take territory battles seriously with the whole remodding and making sure that I do each of the matches and stuff like that. But yeah, like I'm just extremely like super casual. I'm this far away from going nomad on both accounts, to be perfectly honest with you, so that I don't have to bother with guild stuff. But for the time being, I will participate and be a team player.
When we talked about this, when we talked about, you know, hanging up the whole thing, we kind of looked back, and we're going to be talking about this kind of in our third segment. Neil and I are going to interview each other. Bob's got a few questions for us as well, but I mean, it's going to be the tell-all book in a way. But was there a point that you said, what? I'm going to refresh that. What was the point where you said, I just can't, you know, compete anymore. I just can't do this in that fashion.
I just don't want to do this anymore. It was about 3 months after Datacons.
Datacons itself.
I gave the Datacons a chance across 3 accounts over a period of 3 months. The first account disappeared after a month because it was just a joke. You know?
The one with or without?
GL Datacons. I was like, yep. So mothballed that account, just stopped playing it completely, kept on going with 2. And after about 2-3 months, it was like, yeah, this just isn't fun. This isn't fun anymore. You know, I've worked on counters to certain squads that are meaningless because of an RNG item that you can get in the game and apply to a team. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm like, I lost interest. Lost interest. It's not fun. It's a grind. The entire game is now a grind. Everything. There's nothing in the game that isn't an absolute horrible, horrendous time grind. And GAC was never a grind. GAC was never, ever, ever a grind. It was a fun, competitive mode. Now it's a grind. If you want to be competitive, you have to grind through RNG for Datacons. And that makes it not competitive. It makes it RNG. It's no longer a meritocracy. And that was it. It just killed it off for me. Just can't stand it. Yeah. Made it dull, made it boring. It's like, it's a chore. Can't be asked. That was it. It's just, yeah. But I've invested 7 years of my life into this game.
Right.
So I'm going to continue farming for characters, and I'm going to continue to gear up and make squads because they look pretty in my squad loadouts. I do have, I do have a little bit of ADHD. I'm a bit I'm a bit OCD when it comes to my squad. So if I'm scrolling down my squads and I see a squad that's got 3 relics and 2 ain't relicked, it grinds my gears, and it's like I must make those 2 characters relics. So,
I want it shiny.
I want it shiny. Yeah. So I'm playing the game to make my squads look shiny. That's it.
So Ultimate Crafting Way says, I feel that it's the sunken time fallacy.
Yeah.
All for you. For you, Neil, it 100% is sunken time.
Yeah, because I'm free to play. I've never spent a dime on the game.
Exactly. For me, it'd be sunken wealth, sunken assets that it would become. But I can't. I was able to walk away from many a game. Sorry, Kyle, Flair, Nick. MSF. I spent money on that game for a little while. I had to have Squirrel Girl. And I dropped it. Dragon's Champions. When they did the, buy one, get one free on the premium currency, I did it. I was excited to be in part of these games. But they never brought the same feel for a game than Galaxy of Heroes. It's probably the IP. It really probably is the IP because of how much I love Star Wars. But at the same time, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other of why I stayed. It's because of this community. It's because of the people in it. And once again, guys, I'm letting you know that this community is still going to be here at the end of this. There will be something that we'll get into in the fourth segment. But it's also kind of a bittersweet goodbye to the competitiveness. Yes, GAC was, with the introduction of Datacrons, it was a sobering experience. Is that a good way to say it? What do you think?
Mind-numbing.
Yeah. Cathartic.
Mind-numbing.
Cathartic.
Mind-numbing. Just to add to that, that's not to say that GAC isn't competitive. The tip of the spear is still competitive. I don't know if you watched, some people out there might have watched it. I kind of lurked, but Fatal's number 2 versus number 1 match in the world was just very, very interesting because you've got 2 players that they've all got the Datacrons. So it's when you're doing level 9 Datacron against level 9 Datacron, that it's still interesting to watch, and you could technically call that being competitive, despite the fact that, like I said before, every single one of the stats in each of those Datacrons is 100% RNG. It's just RNG. Didn't get the stats for this one, buy another Datacron. Take a roll of the dice, see if you get it on that one. Didn't get him on that one, because you get people with level, X4 or 5 Datacrons for all the same character. And it's because people are constantly rolling the dice trying to get a better Datacron and trying to get that better RNG that allows them to win a match rather than have to, outskill their opponents. So there is still a certain degree of skill at the tip of the spear, but it's only there.
And at the tip of the spear, once you've afforded said Datacrons, which can be gotten free to play, we know, you get a portion of your money back for the next set, so it's not as expensive. It's like the old 900 numbers, if you will. $100 for the first Datacron, 25 cents each additional Datacron.
Yeah, the return on investment is nowhere close to that.
Still, you get a ROI. You get a dividend of some type.
You get some of your resources back, but it's not enough to just be able to not have to then re-spend and play that roulette wheel again.
You do have to get the source. You do have to get the Datacron itself, but you're upgrading, especially if you have a bunch of 9s like those people, like the tip of the spear.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it's not as financially much of a burden. So, Bob, where for you? Because I know you've been feeling the same way. I see your ticket numbers daily. What is you know, what was the point that was like, I really don't, I'm holding in my hand, pretend this duck is the game. I'm holding the game in my hand. But is it still bringing me joy enough to want to invest information and time and learning all of these new abilities every single conquest at all? You know, what do you got?
I mean, this is just a recycled answer, but when we started becoming the most negative on the show was when Datacrons. It's just Datacrons, man. That's what's doing it. And I guess I don't play as many people with Datacrons, but it just takes away from me wanting to be competitive as I used to be. And Grand Arena, I think, is what kept this game alive anyways for 3 years. The IP and Grand Arena. Think about this game without Grand Arena. It would have been dead a long time ago. Like, people wouldn't have streamed it as much. There wouldn't have been free press for them all these years. It's just the Datacrons.
People don't stream it now, mate.
You go Cubs fan Han just quit.
You go on Twitch at any given time. If GAC isn't on, there's less than 10 people watching any SWGOH stream. There's just it's just not worth it. People just don't want to put the time in it. And look at everybody that's quit since Datacrons. That just do not stream GAC anymore. It's not just me. There are some big names out there that don't do it anymore. Well, one of the biggest, I think, was Grid. When Grid gave it up, it's like, I'm done with it. It's boring. It's dull.
Did you hear?
I'm not having fun.
Did you hear the person who helped start this podcast? Oh, so many years ago. Quit. Cubs fan Han.
And he's a legend. He's a legend. I don't care what anyone says.
He
he may not do the most skill videos where he's explaining everything, but he's been there since day one. This guy's a legend. It's the same as quitting, Mobile Gamer quitting. It's a big deal that not only him but you guys too.
We're not quitting the game, which is the big thing we're trying to explain.
We're not quitting the game. We just ain't talking about the game anymore. It's like that's it. It's like.
But it still sucks, man, because there's not very many people left. They're all leaving. And soon it's just going to be, I mean, if you think of the YouTube side, there's only a couple. Now, streaming wise on Twitch, there's a lot more, right? It's more of a content creator community. But that's crazy. But, as far as the game, man, it's just Datacrons. Just maybe the high requirements for things, which is necessary for the game to keep going and going. So I'm not mad about that, but it still is just kind of like, it's already a chore right now. And then you're just adding more stress to me. I have to go back and, build up old characters that I don't want to have to do. And it's a high, like you pretty much have to go minimum R7, and it's stressful for someone who is free to play. And after you start feeling that stress, and like it's more of a chore or a job than it is fun, it kind of stresses you out. It might even affect you outside of the game, and you don't even realize it.
Yep.
So
Zepper says we can't reflect strategies, etc. anymore because Datacrons have put strategy all over the board. That's absolutely true. Neil, you did you ever get to actually learn Magic the Gathering at all?
No, I didn't.
No, okay.
Oh, great.
So
Gridden's in the chat.
So here's where the parallel comes in. We're going to take a break in just a moment. I'm going to reveal the point that it was for me, that it was started to go downhill, and then we'll go to the break and for the interviews. But people used to do and they do it with Pokemon. I'm sure that you've had some sort of game, maybe a tabletop game or something, that you've gone on the internet and looked up what most people will call a deck list.
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay. And a lot of people call that net decking. You go get you go find what you're looking for, and then you emulate it in a vacuum, and then you take it out into the world. No longer could you go, okay, so I have to do this order. I have to set these people up in this order in order to beat somebody in Grand Arena. Because let's all 100% face it, in Grand Arena, you had to learn strategy. You couldn't just honestly hit auto if you wanted to be competitive.
Unless your name's Dagger. I mean, and although granted, he did say that 2 years ago, and GAC now from 2 years ago, you know, with what, you know, how he wailed on his account, he probably could hit auto and win a GAC, but you can't do that now. There's just no way on God's green earth you could hit auto and win a GAC. It's just not doable.
Yeah. Ultimate Crafting Way once again says GAC at high levels is, did you get the good Datacron? Good. Did it get the right stats? Roll it again, just as you said, Nev.
Might want to do a break.
So I'm going to do the break real quick. Here we and here it is. The moment for me, and I've said this many times before, when Conquest became GrindQuest. Neil's making sure that I go to a break right now. We'll see after these messages.
Because I need to get a guest in.
Right here on the Escape Podcast.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's the finale, and I got a special guest for Paul. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Arnold T101. Arnold, thank you for joining us.
Woo! Thanks for giving me the heads up what you guys have going on tonight. You guys are breaking my heart, in the words of Padme.
Well, you know, it finally took 195 episodes to get your ass on the show finally. Arnold,
when was the last time? I swear, did we do something earlier this year?
No. We did something last year with GA Center.
Was it last year?
You never came on the proper show. You never came on the Escape Podcast.
What was I on then?
You were on GA Center.
Oh, okay. Are you guys still doing that, or
No,
you just is it
no.
everything's gone?
No.
Datacron's killed it.
Gone as well. Yeah.
Oh man, do you guys still have that Discord server? I know you have me on the Discord server.
Oh yeah. We the Discord server is still active, but we kind of went on hiatus.
That makes sense. I get it.
See, because CG were screwing things up with the scrape, and SWGOH.gg were only able to get the results within a 24-hour window and not whenever they wanted.
Yeah,
so it was put in SEP, who got our results at a bit of an inconvenience. So I was like, hey, look, we'll go on a hiatus until they've squared it away, and then we just never came back because Datacrons have kind of ruined GAC.
Yeah. The moral of the story is don't fix what's not broken, right?
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Or the other way around, something like that. I always have a thing of messing up saying. That's why I like to say hindsight's 50-50.
So this is 100% a surprise to me. Thank you very much, Arnold, for coming on the show.
No. I Nev reached out to me a few days ago, and he kind of gave me the heads up, and I was like, oh man, it sucks to hear. So I had to stop by at least once, even though I thought I could have sworn I was on sooner a couple months ago, but man, time flies. But yeah, you guys are in I always looked forward to like the GAC Center thing when especially when the Grand Arena changes happened. Man, that was great.
Oh, it was.
You guys, and I loved your guys' coverage of the the Dev versus the Creator Grand Arena last year. You guys had an important part in the role in the community. I was talking on stream today, and I said the thing about this game is it's kind of like a small town, right? Everyone kind of knows each other, and it sucks seeing you guys go, So I hope whatever you guys have planned makes you happier, but I totally get about the sentiments towards Galaxy of Heroes right now. But I'm glad I was able to at least stop by for a few minutes. I'm right now hiding outside.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're on the phone, but there's a lot of people in chat that have already, I finally debuted the new glasses and the new look that I like to do. And they asked if I was a 70s version of you. I don't know if you could see me right now or if you have the phone to your ear. But the reason that people think that you're not on the, you're not being displayed in video is because technically we're the same person. I don't get it.
That's the word.
So, Arnold, what, I guess this is the question I've always wanted to ask you. The evolution into the Grand Admiral. What inspired that? That's the question
So-
I've always wanted to ask you.
The Grand Admiral or the Emperor? Which one?
Why you
Grand
became
Admiral.
the Grand Admiral?
So here's the thing. So over the years, I've always kind of developed like this character. I always called it the Arnold Cinematic Universe, where I always like played like this character that always jumped between dimensions. I think the first one was the Bounty Hunter for the Wookiee event, and then I did the 501st, or I'd always kind of dress up as this character and kind of make like a little world around it. And it was always for legendary things. I always noticed people loved those love that little segment that I would always do for the legendary events. So then I was like, oh, why don't they just like do this as like a normal thing? Because it's different, because normally it's nothing wrong. Most folks, it's just them being them. I was like, oh, why don't we do like more of a universe type immersion thing? And then I was exposed to Dr. Disrespect in 2019, and then he plays a character too. I'm like, there's not a lot of people that do like a character bit online. So that's when I came to him and I saw how he took his character and took it towards that direction. So like, I always had this, ever since one of my earlier avatars, whatever it's called, was always, me as a Grand Admiral or whatever. I'm like, why don't they do something like that too? So that's kind of where it came from. But it's funny how, I don't know if many people know who Dr. Disrespect is, but it's funny, like even before I was exposed to him, I always had the glasses, or I always called out Gary. And then he has his own thing where he's got glasses, and who the heck does he always berates someone in his videos? I can't remember. But it's funny how there was a little bit of parallel. So it seemed like, I don't know if calling's the right word, but it seemed like interesting that, the direction I wanted to take the channel, I kind of had inspiration, like how to take a character and make it into, really tell a story a bit more. And it's an immersive factor. So I think that's kind of where it was, but really was just over the years, people love the character bits I would always do for, the videos, the live streams, or whatever it might be. And I was like, I kind of want to take that to the next level. It's fun because, the thing about it is, the game's cool and all, but it's fun when you can kind of tell a story, or just, immerse an audience into an experience that they might not find in other places out there. So I guess that's kind of the long story short of it.
How many people do you now have on your creation team?
It's not really that big. It's you got me, and then I have one guy, shout out to Adam. He's been great, and then I have another guy named George. So it's pretty much, it's kind of just three of us for the most part. So and then with music, when I have a producer helps me make my stuff sound a bit more polished. So shout out to Stell on that too. Yeah, he's been because I've always had a thing for music over the years. I've been too embarrassed to show some of my earlier stuff I did like a decade plus ago, but so it's what I've always wanted to get back to music, because music was my first line of entertainment before I did YouTube or anything like that. So it was kind of fun over the past years to start implementing that into the channel. So
I remember you putting a video of you doing a performing arts thing, a theatrical type performance. I'm sure you put something like that on your channel. You showed everybody during a live stream. It would have been about 2-3 years ago though, because you do have a performing arts background, don't you?
I don't know if I would say like a trained performing arts type of background.
Amateur,
but
an amateur.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, something like that. I always did a bunch of talent shows growing up. I did gigs in college for singing and whatever. And then in high school, they put me in the lead roles for plays and musicals and stuff like that. So, it's not like, I didn't like go study. I mean, I was a football car enthusiast, and I just happened to sing because of my great grandfather getting me into it. And it was an interesting thing growing up. Not a lot of sixth grader kids are singing Bobby Darin or Dean Martin at talent shows, and all the old ladies loved me growing up.
How much longer do we got you for? Because I don't want to bogart your time. I know you're with family.
Let me see. Lady of the Star Destroyer is currently spamming me, saying, "What you doing? Where you are?" Hello. I got probably like 2 more minutes here.
2 more minutes.
Yeah, I know it sucks. Yeah, I know when Nev reached out to me a few days ago. I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then, of course, today I was reminded, like, "Oh, we got to go to this thing tonight." So currently, I'm sitting in the Kyber horse, just chilling.
What's one of our subs and Patreons has a question. Whatever happened to the lawyer career? Because I do remember, I remember watching the streams, like, you getting stressed out over exams and then, paying off your student loans and getting fully qualified.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything in the future for that?
The future is always in motion. I mean, I'm still licensed. I renewed everything. The thing is, especially this year, I put a lot of time and effort into the creative aspect of the channel. And I still do pro bono stuff when I have the time or availability,
Nice.
or at the very minimum. Like I definitely haven't done like this year. It's definitely kind of on my personal radar for 2023 to be a bit more involved with that. But at the minimum, like this year, I know there's a few folks that they come to me and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I know someone in a variety of different fields and the legal world that can get them to the right place, the right time. Yeah, because the thing is, when you're taking on a client, you need to make sure you give them 120%.
Yes.
And when I'm at a point right now where it's awesome and all where YouTube is, but it's I want to make sure someone gets the proper help and make sure they're not distracted. Where right now I can barely keep up with what I'm trying to do. So it's so this year it's been a little bit different. But yeah, the great thing about it is, and I think that's why I have a different view on how I look at YouTube. Let's say one day YouTube, the sun comes down. It was an amazing run. It's something to look forward to maybe switch the levers a bit and go back into more of a full-time law position. I know a few folks that always ask me, hey, are you still doing YouTube? It's like, yeah, I'm still doing YouTube right now. So so it's a nice backup plan. That's why I think I have such a positive aspect on YouTube and whatnot. Is it's like, worst case scenario, I just go to what I went to school for, and it's what's the right word? It's a very it's satisfying, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the right word to say. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw 3 questions, and it's lightning round answers.
Let's go for it.
I'm
bad at lightning.
What do you say is your biggest accomplishment in Galaxy of Heroes streaming content creation? What was your biggest accomplishment so far in this case for you?
All right, I'm just off the top of my head. I think it's mind blowing. I think it was a Sith Eternal or Raid Kyle event 1 to 2. We had like 20-some thousand concurrent viewers, and that's like not even just for Galaxy, like for streaming as a whole. That was a huge moment. So that was really cool.
Biggest regret
in life, or
in your content creation life, what is Arnold T101's biggest regret? Not what is Arnold's regret.
Real talk.
That's what we're here for, right? It's the tell-all book.
Oh man! So again, I never expected YouTube to be anything. It was just me posting videos on a game I like. My YouTube channel name was simply my PlayStation name I made back when I got a PlayStation 3 in 2012. In hindsight, I think it's fine, but yeah, I wish that my name was a little bit different in terms of my showman name. Arnold T1 is not the sexiest name out there, but especially when it kind of sounds a little close to anal. So,
That's your new name.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so it's not sure it's a regret, but it's more behind.
Welcome to the party, Richter. That was iconic.
Yeah, it's the problem is nowadays that not to say that they'd come after me, but I always say this: music's kind of the boogeyman, where someone can just randomly start claiming a bunch of videos. Like Eckhart's Ladder recently went through this problem. So yeah, I'm trying to not use any stuff unless I have a license or I made it myself, really. So and same thing even with the channel rebranding lately. You want to. Yeah, it's a long. This is not very lightning, but yeah, that's one reason why I stopped using Party Richter, because I just didn't want to get in trouble down the road.
All right, and the last question I have for you, unless Neil's got something, is what is when the dust settles, when you are doing what we're doing today and stepping away from content creation, what are you hope that you are remembered for?
Oh man, I don't know. It seems a little. A little too self-centered. I think at the end of the day, I just want people to. I just hope that people had a good time. I think at the end of the day, it's a community building thing, and I honestly don't feel like I'm any special more than anyone else out there. I just happen to maybe be at the right place, right time, and some people liked me, and I just hope that when they come, they can kind of forget about life for a while and. Just have a good time hanging out. Just a good. I hope they had a good. It's a party. It's a 25-8 party, and hopefully, whenever they stayed, they had a good time. I think that's the most important thing.
Neil, any questions?
No, this was all for you, mate. We chat. If I want to ask something, I'll bug you.
You can always
3 weeks.
Arnold, will you finally accept my friend request on Discord?
Yeah, did you send me a friend request?
I sent you one 4 years ago, and it's still sitting there as awaiting
in
acceptance.
My guild, he gave me a mouthful to not a mouthful, but my Discord is just absolutely atrocious, man. If you Nev, if you can you remind me what his name is?
Yeah,
And I'll
you.
dig for it in the friend request. Yeah, I need to do some Discord overhauling because people are reaching out and I never see notifications. Like anytime I do a video or stream, people see my Discord like, wow, dude, your thing's a mess. It's just red marks everywhere and DMs galore. So it's I'm glad, it's actually, he caught me at a good time. He sent me a message and he just like, I happened to be at my computer. He popped up at the very top. Otherwise, if I don't see it, it just gets buried, and I always feel bad. My inbox is a mess on Discord.
All right. Well, we are going to let you get back to the family. Arnold, thank you for everything. Thank you for the shout outs early on, June of 2019 and up till now. We appreciate what the pillar that you've been in the community and the friendship that you've given us. So
no, I think it's the other way around, my friend. It's sad to see you step away. Maybe one day the game goes in a different direction where maybe you guys want to come back. So don't be a stranger if you feel like things might be fun to come back to.
Absolutely. Arnold, thank you for showing up. We are going to keep the view here as Arnold disconnects. We're going to keep going here. But once again, thank you very much, Arnold. We will see you again very soon, I'm sure.
Thank you, guys. You guys take care. Thank you again for everything you've done for the community.
You got it, my friend.
Thanks, buddy. All right, see ya. Bye-bye.
So, thank you, Neil. Finally, I got him on.
I was like, I told you, that was part of the message. I said he'd get a real kick out of it because he's been trying to get you on, and it's the last show. And even if it's just for a few minutes, I know that he would get a real kick out of you being on the show.
I mean, you can't top that.
Yeah.
That was pretty freaking cool, man. I might have fangirled a little bit more than anybody on there. I was hoping he didn't say, Bob, you have any questions? Because I had none.
I was going to ask.
I can't believe Arnold's on here right now. I mean, he's not on here right now, but I want to say, like, that guy, I've watched him since he's my Robert Downey Jr. He's like my hero, right? He was what I started watching him before he put his face on there. He was just doing character reviews, and he's what got me into this game to become good at it. And then he just developed, he evolved, and he still is evolving. And he's not only he's the best SWGOH content creator, but he's a great one in general. Like he surpasses that, and that's just so cool. He came on here for you guys.
By the way, anybody that is anybody else that's a content creator, if you want to come on during these next two segments, we got about 37 minutes left and a short third break. If any content creator wants to come on to just shoot the breeze with us for this final few segments, send me a message and I'll just shoot you right back the Discord link or the Zoom link. All right. Neil?
Yes.
How long have you been playing Galaxy of Heroes? What's your account and are you free to play?
Well, I've been playing Galaxy of Heroes since day one. Well, technically not, because obviously there was a soft launch on the 15th of November. The hard launch didn't happen until December the 15th. So I didn't start playing until December. I was free to play from day one, and I've been free to play ever since. I've never spent a dime on it, ever. So the Nev cannot punch the Nev's ticket because, the Nev is free to play all the way. The
dude abides.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was same thing. Right off the bat, joined, I think, December. So I've been playing since right near launch. Definitely not free to play. And it's been it has absolutely been a wild ride. I'm almost 10 million. And of that 10 million, it's going to be Jabba the Hutt and Dr. Afro that pushed me over. So, that's going to be the fun part. Flare Embers joins us here. So, Neil, I wanted to ask, I've been wanting to ask you, in an interview setting, if I ever did get to interview you, What started the love of Star Wars itself for you?
I watched Star Wars Christmas 1985.
That's what brought it on.
I was visiting my it was summer holidays. I was at my grandparents. Sorry, Christmas holidays. I was at my grandparents, and back then we only had 4 TV channels: BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, and Channel 4. So that very, very limited on what you could watch on TV. So during the Christmas period, there would always be, literally it would be movie after movie after movie. All the channels didn't have any live programming because it was the holidays. So they would just literally put bunches of movies on, and they played Star Wars that Christmas. And I remember watching it thinking, oh my God, wow. I mean, I'm 7 years old, and it was just, it was just awesome, watching it on a little 4:3 TV, big tube thing. Yeah, it wasn't like a massive cinema or anything like that. But it was awesome. It was brilliant. And then they played, a few days later, they played Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And I was like, what? There's a second and a third movie? I was just, yeah. So, so over that Christmas holiday, I watched all three of the movies. And then, the following year, they played them again. So in 1986 Christmas, they played them again. But that, I was ready. I was ready that year with the VCR, and I recorded it. And then I just, from 1985, throughout my single digits of my childhood, I just watched those movies over and over and over again on that VCR. And wherever I was, that video cassette followed me. There was an episode of Godzilla on there, a cartoon episode of Godzilla on there as well, but that would always just get fast forwarded. It went Star Wars because it was recorded on a long play video, and a long play video would last 8 hours. So it went episode 4, cartoon episode of Godzilla, then Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And after a while, I just ended up fast forward, and it stretched the tape out, because when you fast forwarded on a VHS, it would stretch it out. So that video cassette that just got used over and over and over and over and over and over again, that was it. That's what started the love affair. And then nothing, obviously Caravan of Courage and The Battle for Endor, it goes without saying I watched those as a kid. But then after that, it was just nothing. And then I was in I think I was about 60. Yeah, I was about 16 years old. I'd finished boarding school, and I walked into a bookshop looking for some graphic novels, and I came across the science fiction, and it's like there was the extended universe, and I'm like, what the hell is this, and why the hell didn't I know about it? So I bought Truce at Baccarat. I went home, read it, and then went back and saw the Jedi Academy trilogy, bought that, read the entire trilogy in like 3 days, went back. And I just kept on going back to the bookshop and buying more and more and more, because around about, we're talking about 93, 94, a lot of these books had already been out because they were published in 92, 93. So there was already a good solid 20 books out, including the Thrawn trilogy. And that was it, at that point, so the movies, and then early 90s, all of the books, some of the graphic novels, the Dark Empire. I got my hands on the Dark, because as far as I was aware, it was just comics and graphic novels. I didn't know about the extended universe. And I had, up to that point, my reading was Tom Clancy. That's all I was, Tom Clancy and Sean Hudson and James Herbert, not sci-fi. So,
right.
Yeah.
Bob, I told you to come up with a question for Nev. What did you come up with?
Mine was more just SWGOH orientated. I didn't have anything really good, but you're talking about like what was keeping you in the game earlier. That was one of my questions, but you already covered it. But what the second one, and this goes for both of you, what would be the final straw for you guys? Because we've been through a lot of crap over 6-7 years, however long we've been playing it. What would they have to do in the game for you guys to leave?
Oh, what? To stop playing it dead in the water?
What? It could be anything, but what could they implement, or what could they change or do for you to be like, all right, that's it, I've had enough? Because we've been through a lot. And is there a line that they can cross, or will you always just be here no matter what?
Here's the thing: they've already done it for me. I'm just being, my continuation with the game is just the masochist in me, because I've put 7 years into it. If I'd not put 7 years of my time into this game, I wouldn't be playing it anymore. I would have stopped. I really, really would have stopped. They've already crossed that. I always said, and Paul knows this, and Flair knows this, because I'd say it all the time, especially when we were doing GA Center. If they screw with, are we allowed one? We're allowed one F-bomb for PG, aren't we?
Yeah, but we might have that with somebody else later on.
It's one.
Okay.
I was going to say I have the bleep button ready.
If they F with GAC, I'm gone. I'm done. I will be done with this game, and they've F'd with GAC. Too much. The Datacrons it's too much.
Renard the Fox says
destroyed it. Yeah.
Renard the Fox says, "Love you guys. Thanks for everything. We'll keep in touch. We're definitely going to keep in touch, Renard. Check us out on the next side of this break. For me, what would they have to do? I could make a joke about one of our friends, and that's bring Jar Jar to the game.
I want Jar Jar. Bring him on. I don't want you to
dark
leave,
side
though.
Sith leader.
Yes,
but
that's exactly right.
As far as me, what would they have to do? I mean, negate progress in territory battles. Like, go backwards. Then I would probably... So, by the way, Flair Embers and Nick Williams from the Escape Podcast MSF edition. Of course, we all know Bob's here as well, also known as Kyle Preston. Thank you for joining us, guys. For me, the thing that would be to negate everything, increasing difficulty already on territory battles to the point where it's light side territory battle-esque. Yeah, I mean, of course, we don't all have the Relic 9 characters, and we aren't going hard on everything that with Relic 9 characters forward, but it's a love, please don't hate relationship, in my opinion.
Would it make you mad? Like we've talked about this, it could potentially happen. Would it make you mad if they started changing territory battles? Like I said, where it evolves.
No, I won't be upset if they change territory battles, because if you look at the new row territory battle map, there's plenty of forks in the road that you are going to be able to take if they ever enabled those slices. Right. I mean, you may end up seeing a mostly dark side or a mostly light side, like where is what I'm guessing with the spaces in between each of the current paths that you see, because I mean you see that it zigzags around. It's almost like a Z, like Dr. Zeppers. Dread Zeppers, who just joined us. Thank you for taking the time to stop by for the finale, my friend. I know he's putting his ears on right now. There he goes. He's waving at us.
What's up, man?
So
Seth, Flair, help me out here. Ask some stuff.
Well, okay.
Oh, geez.
Let's regroup. We'll figure this out, and then the big announcement comes, in this next segment. So let's take a quick 2.5, I think it's 3-minute break, and we'll be right back right here on the Escape Pod.
Does this work?
Yes, it does. Cast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Are you like us and play more than one mobile game? Well, we have good news. The Escape Podcast has expanded its lineup.
There's the flagship Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes show every first and third Friday with Paul Anthony and the Nav.
And the Marvel Strike Force show on the second and fourth Fridays with Flair, Kyle, and Nick.
Join our Discord to stay up to date with these and our additional shows produced under the Nerdy Network flag.
Everything happens live on the Escape Pod Cast Twitch channel, or you can catch up on what you missed on our YouTube channel or your favorite podcast app.
Thanks for listening to the Escape Pod Cast. Be nice to each other, damn it.
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We have picked up a few more people, as you can see. Paul, introduce everybody.
Yes, we have. So, as I mentioned, we have Kyle, we have Flair, we have Nick, all from the Escape Podcast MSF edition. Our dear friend, Dread Zeppers. Some people call him Dr. Zeppers. But
that was a lot of deers.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's how much of a friend he is.
A veritable herd of deers.
I have been friends with the Escape Podcast for at least 2.5 years. That's exactly how long I've been a Twitch streamer. Hey. They welcomed me into the SWGOH community, and I love these guys. My favorite GAC ever was against Nev.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Oh, yes.
Doing the bot, that was so much fun. Because we catered it to our needs, so we're like, look, we'll both put only blue gear, purple geared tunes down, so we could only put gear 11 or less teams down. And then the rule was, because my account was slightly better than his, he was allowed to do. I was only allowed to do solos, but he was allowed to do one duo at the start if he wanted to. And it went down to the last match. It went down to the last fleet battle, didn't it? It still went down. It was very close. It still went down to the last fleet battle
because it came down to who could get those couple of extra banners. Really, is what it came down to. It wasn't. Yeah, we full cleared each other quite easily, but
it was like one or two difference in the matches until those fleet, and then I failed.
Nev won
and had to do a cleanup. And you failed, but couldn't then do the clean because I was like, shit.
Came down to a chance. There was a chance I could have beat him, but yeah, he ended up.
Because I failed on my last fleet battle, and I'm thinking to myself, if all Zeppers had to do was one shot it, and then he missed his first chance, and it's like, right, now I have to get the cleanup and hope he doesn't get the clean. Oh yeah, it was a good match. It was a really, really good match.
Bob, did you get all the questions you wanted out of us?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Well, no, I guess. Did you have another question?
No, you're good. You're good to go.
All right. So Nev just posted a in the chat of the Twitch stream. Nev just posted the video of Grand Admiral on GA Center, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those that were interested in seeing how long ago that was, episode 19 of GA Center.
Oh God, that was 2 years ago. What the heck, man? Oh, the beard hadn't formed yet for me.
Yeah, you were still babyface then.
Oh, I was so baby faced.
I didn't. I was clean shaven and short haired.
Yep. And,
oh man.
All right, I feel kind of left out. I'm the only one with no facial hair.
well, you know, I didn't shave this part of it. This should be the Dread Zeppers portion of the beard.
I mean, it's been there before. Most of you have probably seen a clip of me doing Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh,
before.
yeah, absolutely. I love watching that clip of you.
3 times in my life, I had a full beard. Like, yeah, crazy. Anyway.
All right. So, Nev, should I make the announcement now?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right. So, for those of you who are not, who are dreading the fact that you think that Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is going away from the Escape podcast, it is not. Nev and I are simply taking production roles in the background. We're stepping back. We're stepping out of the spotlight. Neil, the thing that about the Escape podcast, in my opinion, was always spotlighting someone new, someone upcoming, it was great when we had huge names like Grid and Cubs and all them. Yes. But
and Dr. Zeppers.
Well, I was actually going to mention you because when you first started, we immediately got you on. We were always looking for the new people that joined. So,
absolutely.
That being said, the Escape podcast will be going into the distance via Purgle transportation system. We're not gone. We're just simply going to be plotting our revenge in deep space. What we are going to be doing is the Escape podcast, the Old Man's Private Reserve, will start, if not next week, in 3 weeks.
Hold on to your butt.
That is going to be Old Man Logan and Kane. So I'm exceptionally excited to tell you guys the Escape Podcast SWGOH edition is not going anywhere. It's just getting a renovation. We are it's going to be, as I said, the Old Man's Private Reserve featuring Brian Kane and Dan Logan. So those are the people that we interviewed the last time we were on, and many, many times before that I said, if there's anybody that could fill our seats, Nev, it was them. Because Kane is you, and Logan is me.
He literally has Pom Pom. He is literally playing Pom Pom-tastic.
He's playing your old account.
He is literally playing the account that I started my content creation career with on YouTube when I started doing the 4 pillars. And that was me doing it on a tablet. I would do everything I did everything on a tablet. I recorded the gameplay, recorded my voice, and then I just uploaded it onto YouTube. Yep. And that he is playing that is the account that he is now playing. So it'd be and he's not allowed.
He's not allowed to spend anything.
I told him off. He was tempted to get some poxy monthly pass for Conquest, and I'm like, oh no, you don't. Oh no, you don't. That you were given that account on the proviso that you continue it in the manner with which it was created, free to play, and just following as many of the best guides as you possibly can. And that I gave him that account. Sweet, it was a sweet 4 mil GP account. So he's not allowed to do anything money-wise with it. But yeah,
he has done very well for himself as well. He's climbed back into Kyber. You let that thing drop to Erodium, he's climbed back to Kyber.
No, I know. I never played it after. I never played that account during when they reworked it.
Oh,
so he's climbed from where he said that it was in. I think he said that it started in Erodium 5. He had to start I think it was Erodium 5 he had to start with. But yeah, he's climbed from Erodium 5 all the way up to Kyber, which which wasn't an easy thing because when I gave it to him, there were no GLs on it. and it was still a couple of characters away from being ready for JKL.
Nate asked, "Did you ever delete your personal YouTube channel?"
Me?
Yeah.
No, it's still there.
Okay, look
it's
for
still there.
the Nev.
I just don't put. Yeah, no, it's still there. The Nev is still the Nev exists. I just don't post anything to it. Because ever since I've done, I stopped doing stuff on the Nev practically, and just did everything on the Escape podcast. Every now and then I would throw something on the channel just to, to see if it was still alive, give it some CPR, but it still exists. It's my the stream key on OBS. I just it's too much of a pain in the ass to switch it over. Plus, I can't stand the delay, and I just prefer doing everything. Everybody knows that it's me streaming on the Escape podcast. So it's just easier to do it on that than it is on my private Twitch and YouTube channels. Still got them, I just don't use them.
Sarlacc says TEPc lives. Yes, it does. Jack Daniels says, "I guess that's okay. Kane is in my guild and he's great, and Logan is a good streamer and they have good chemistry." And wants to know if we'll have cameos of Nev and Paul, and does Bob stay with the ship? So, to answer each of those questions, cameos from Nev and Paul. We're still going to work on, as we said, we're still production. We're still here to support MSF Edition, Private Cantina, or the Private Reserve as well. Bob will stay with the ship. Bob is going to stay with with them. But they're going to be in the Cantina, so they're actually going to have to, bring a hollow emitter to put him in the. So he'll be in the Cantina. But what we're going to do is, we talked about how SWGOH is the first and fourth, MSF is the second and the or first and third, MSF is second and fourth. What are we going to do on those fifth Friday months? Well, welcome back to the Escape Podcast. Nev and I will jump on here. I think 5 times next year, Neil. We're still going to be here. We'll get everybody together, or we'll just, tell you what's grinding our gears. So
no, because that's what I was about to say. Grind. What grinds my gears? It'd be like a Peter Griffin
exactly.
segment.
Exactly. Welcome.
What really grinds my gears, and then I'll find something totally obtuse to rant about, and it won't be in any way, shape, or form constructive criticism. It'll just be you're crap, and I hate you for this reason.
Well,
leverages.
Never. Sure, we can have a never.
It'll be a never age. It'll be a never age.
Welcome to the show, 1/3 of the dynamic triumvirate that moderates our show, Big Country Mags, also known as the Magnum. Thank you for joining us, BCM. Always good to see you.
Yeah,
Skull,
y'all.
So, did you have any questions for Neil or I, BCM? Hey, you're currently on mute, my friend.
You're muted.
I appreciate your proactiveness, though.
Let's try that again.
There you go.
No, I really don't have any questions. I've been with you guys been moderating since we were back in the streaming and Discord days.
From the Discord days, exactly.
We're good friends.
Somebody messaged me, is Bob where, you guys are seeing behind the scenes. Yes, this is a real wall. And yes, I personally sent Bob a green shirt. You can kill your virtual background now if you want, Kyle. But
don't ignore the man behind the curtain. No, stop it.
Take it back.
Put it back.
So, there you go. You put up the computer screen version.
The old days.
No, all the little things that we've done over the past almost 4 years has always just been to entertain. And that's my favorite part of it. Zeppers is showing, I'm green screen too.
Mine's a curtain. It used to be a really in the way bunch of telephoto poles and stands and stuff. I went and I installed a green screen, a curtain.
Yeah, curtain rod
thing in my ceiling, and now I can literally just on green screen and re-green screen my living room.
I can ring this entire section of my studio in my house here in green. I have the exact same green drapery with curtain rods above me. So,
yeah.
And I'm gonna hit up Zep. Do you have any questions for Neil and I? You know, this is kind of like Patreon's choice, but you guys get to ask them live.
No, I really don't. I was trying to think of something to ask you guys, but I just been following you guys for so long, and you've always given me some respect and all that in the community as well. Like you said, I wasn't one of the first, but you were one of the first other channels that I'd been on. And I believe I actually participated in a 24-hour charity.
You did. I was going to point out that you were part of Creator Cup 1. Yes, you were.
It was quite an interesting finish we had with that particular run.
Over 3, this channel in and of itself, I did the math because I wanted to mention this as well, including the mini marathon, including the Toys for Tots marathon, including the World Child Cancer marathons that we did over the past 4 years. We've raised $7,500 US overall for charitable causes. So, and that
way to go, Padawans.
And I was gonna exactly, the Padawans are the people that made that happen. So, thank you to you guys on that one. Severanis, did you have any questions? I know Flair's got one in his pocket here, so that's why I'm going to him last. But did you have any questions for Never I?
How many hours did it take you to do the Grand Inquisitor event, Paul?
2.
Wow.
That's because I relicked. I already had them relicked. I was like, they're 5. Might as well take them to 7.
Ask him how long it took to do the Padme event. Then ask me.
I remember that episode.
I got Padme after 356 attempts. I counted,
and I got Padme after 2 attempts. I didn't get it on the first attempt because I forgot to swap the arrow on the spy, and then I swapped the mod around, and boom, did it straight away.
Is that pesky arrow?
I just noticed Operation Metaverse stopping in the chat. Thank you so much, guys. Gom, T-Money, you guys were the first people that Scotty and I ever actually, aside from Cubs, who of course encouraged us to do this. Operation Metaverse was the very, very first place that actually reached out to us and said, hey, we'd like to have you on. So Op Meta has a very, very special place in my heart. So thank you to both of you. Blair, what's been that question?
I'm trying to think of a question. I'm just kind of thinking back overall, like, oh my gosh, how many years has it been now that I've been hanging out with you guys? About 3?
Yeah, 3, because we met you right during the beginning of the pandemic, which is February.
It's been about 3, and I'm like, I'm thinking back on 3 years of stuff. Part of my channel, part of a lot of the channels that I've been associated with, the Chain Gang, Andy, all of those guys, the GA Center show, all this other stuff has been defined by our experiences here and our experiences through this show. And it's one of those, it's like, man, like, even though I have kind of quit SWGOH cold turkey, I have left that thing in the dust, and it is collecting it like a hoarder's house, like after they passed away 10 years ago. It's just one of those. It's a
strange mental image, by the way.
Oh, it's a very strange mental image. But no, like, just the thought of like how much a lot of channels have been impacted by just being around here and hanging out in the community and getting a little bit of limelight here on the show. and then going afterwards. I remember when we were doing our big old affiliate pushes for everybody that came on that was starting up. It was just like, hey, let's get these guys to affiliate status. Let's do it. Be able to see behind the curtains and everything. It's been awesome. And then obviously we've got the sister show now.
Yeah.
For the MC, the MSF version. So
the sister show and the brother show are going to be taking over. The parent show is gonna, go retire in the Caymans.
So no, this is awesome. I think, okay, actually for both of you guys, let's do it this way. Outside of SWGOH, as far as streaming, as far as content creation is concerned, what is one of your favorite memories? It could be the same thing, it could be different, it doesn't matter. What's your favorite memory you've got from content creation over the last couple of years?
Can I do two?
Absolutely, Paul.
Okay. The first one is making you play Electric Six Gay Bar live on stream.
I gotta watch this.
He gets halfway into the song and goes, no more.
I don't think you can see the stream, Bob. I think it's probably like long gone.
Yeah, it's long gone. But
what you should have done, you shouldn't have just made him listen to the song. You should have made him watch the music video.
I'm good.
The music video is even more hilarious because he's dressed as Abraham Lincoln in like hot pants. It's hilarious. It's so funny. It's just a guy that's like, you know what can I do that sounds and looks ridiculous, but it's going to make me super famous? And that it's like, I know what I'll do. I'll sing about wanting to take someone to a gay bar, and I'll dress up as Abraham Lincoln in hot pants, and I'll exercise. I won't dance. I'll do exercise because that's what he's not dancing to the music.
Yep.
He's exercising to the music. It's you're watching it and you're like, oh my God, I shouldn't be watching this, but I can't
look away.
You just can't look away.
Neil, what about you? And then I'll come back with my favorite moment outside of TEPc.
Let's see. Outside of TEPc.
I mean, it could be TEPc related. I guess I'll throw mine out there. Being on that final stream when we were able to break, I think, what was it, $30,000 for St. Jude? I mean, quite literally. I can't pull it up, but I still work. Geek Girl was sent a whole bunch of play for more than bragging rights stuff to play live St. Jude push. I still use the gaming mat that they sent. I still use the water bottle. So just being part of the SWGOH community itself is literally, and no fan service in this, literally my favorite part.
God,
it can be SWGOH related. It just anything involving content creation over the last couple of years.
Anything involving content creation in the last couple of years. Well, then for me, because
I think I know now.
Because of GAC, it's the Speed GAC commentary, doing the commentary for the Speed GAC. That was just for me, that was just awesome. That was the pinnacle because we'd done fight nights at that point. We did Grid versus DB, we did Wiggensbog versus somebody else. We'd done several fight nights that were immediately related to people that were involved in GA Center, and because of GA Center that we had the drop on those matches. But when Crumb and Crumb and Doja said we want to do a Speed GAC, and we've been told you're the people to come to do this, we were like, yeah we'll do it. Sacrificing being picked as the contestants, it was like, doing commentary on each of the matches was just freaking awesome because there was some really, really good matches, and it got very, very exciting in some of the plays, and because everybody had and that was the first time we figured out, because from watching the devs, it's like, hang on a minute, what the hell is BB8 doing in this GG squad? and a couple people were taking in standard counters, and it's like, oh my god, they're getting there. It's like, what is going on? Taking in the Bad Batch, and just watching the Bad Batch just get absolutely trounced. It's like, oh, okay, that's the way it is with the, because that one after that first round of that happening, everybody was doing it. Everybody was putting, the Relic 7 BB-8 in with the GG, because the standard Bad Batch, well, it just wasn't countering it. That was probably my most exciting thing. Definitely the Speed GAC.
I have to absolutely 100% agree that Speed GAC, the fact that they came to us, the fact that I was able to create their vision actually there. When Doja was like, do you know how to record all of these and edit it? I'm looking at him going, do you know what I do for a living? It was amazing. And then what they showed the investors was my work. And thank you, Doja. Thank you, Crumb. Thank you, Nivmet. Thank you, Crazy. You guys are all awesome. Appreciate each and every single one of you. So, thank you for that.
I think it's our most watched video on our channel. The recap.
Probably.
I think it was the most watched. Yeah, because it was Speed GAC. Yeah, I think it was one of the most. It was one of the most watched.
One of the most watched. I don't know if it beat the Carrie interview or not. But yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point. Actually, let's have a look. Carrie
interview was, as I said, June 2019. Nev, do you?
No, it beat the Carrie. It beat the Carrie one.
It beat the Carrie one. There you go.
Beat the Carrie. Oh no, it didn't. No, it didn't. The Carrie what? The Carrie one had 7,000 views.
Okay. The biggest, best part that was TEPc related was the Hondo reveal. After so long, and having to keep it from all of you. Even Bob didn't
still
know.
Upset about that.
Bob didn't know that I was going to be doing the Hondo reveal that day.
No, that was my favorite part too, because I was part of it. It was my first puzzle and everything, and my buddies were part of it, so I felt like I was part of it. It was pretty cool.
So, what do you think would be our greatest accomplishment? Is it the community we brought together? Is it the Carrie interview? Is it Speed GAC? Or is it Hondo? Those are the four milestones in my brain about what we were able to do for the show.
Which is huge. I mean, you guys, you're very humble. We're all humble people, but you guys are legends also. Like, you guys do a lot. The fact that devs and big CCs want to come hang out with you guys, talk to you, that's a big deal. You guys are a huge deal, and I'm so sad to see you guys. I mean,
we're not leaving.
I know, but
it's not like you're dying.
cutting back.
Yeah, they're not dying.
But I feel like you are.
That's morbid.
But I just want to say, like, my ode to you guys is like, thank you for everything you've done for me, for the community. Yeah, I know you guys aren't dying, but you're stepping back, and it's sad. Even when you announced that it was going to be every 2 weeks, I was sad.
But then I said, do you want to fill in every other week? And you're
right.
Like, oh, so it's not as bad.
Right. But but I just want to say thank you guys for everything. Like, you've boosted my content creator career. I've become friends with so many people. You know, not just you and Nev, Flair, Seth, Mags, the list goes on. Your friends are now my friends, and I was just invited in one day when you said, hey, want to come on the show? I didn't know who you were. You've been around for a while. I didn't know who the heck you guys were. But you know what? As soon as I watched you, I was in. Like, I wasn't really part of anything, but you had me on the show, and it was a terrible interview on my part. But I was there every Friday. I would tell my family, like, I have to go watch TEPc. You guys were my Friday. And you're a lot of other people's too. So, yes, I know it's a celebration, but it is still sad to see you guys go.
Speaking of celebration, if anybody has any parting words, of course, I'm not going to read, good riddance or anything like that. Come on. If any
About
of you
time they're gone.
I'm glad they're gone, man. I'm going to read some of the people that have said some very, very nice things along the way. As I said, Jack Daniels is what is it? Jack Daniels, JAKDNELS, says that he's okay with the old man Cantina guys. Tilo Mad says, gonna miss y'all, fella, and thank for everything y'all did for the game and community. Y'all are the real ones. Thank you, Tilo. I remember having you on, and you yourself are pretty awesome yourself. Jack Daniels does say the Escape Podcast is the first podcast I ever downloaded, SWGOH or otherwise. I heard about the rest of the community and content creators largely because of you guys. Thanks for bringing it to this point, and glad you'll continue to be a part. Interceptor 33 says, your unique Twitch title name caught my attention. Thanks for keeping it great, Escape Pod Cast 100%. And Zaz, who if you've been here since we went to live, we always came up with fun names for Zaz because Zaz was brought to us by my good friend Fighting Drunk. Shout out to him. One of the most positive people that I know. He brought Zaz, and Zaz has been right there through it all. UK contingent, so Nev was able to always identify with him.
Did he play Dragon Champions? Fighting Drunk?
Yeah, Fighting Drunk did, yes.
Yeah, I think he was in DB Officials Guild with me.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, okay, I know him. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Ollie's an amazing guy. Cascade says it's been a pleasure listening to you guys and then being able to mod for you. Zaz says no more new names for me. Now we'll still come up with names for you somehow, Zaz. We'll figure that out. Cascade, it's also been a pleasure to get to know you through this as well. And thank you very much for all the friendship. Lizzie Jonko says, Paul, you and I have chatted many times outside of TEPc, and I value your friendship. And if not for the show, we would never have met. My best memory with you all was playing Cards Against Humanity. Zep, you were there too for Cards Against Humanity that late night when we were doing it for the marathon stream. And I want to thank you, Zep, for introducing me to Lizzie as well. So a special thank you with that connection. Nev, do you have anybody that you want to shout out? Any people that you want to credit this all to?
I'd give a shout out to you and Scotty for
forget me. I'm not part of this right now.
For asking me to do the story time with a Nev.
It was our pleasure.
Was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. That was back when I was on a crappy little PC. Streaming on that thing was a nightmare. I only had one monitor. I didn't have the setup that I had there. I had one monitor. Trying to do everything on one monitor was a nightmare. Definitely thanks to I've got a big thank you to the Epiphany toilet. Without which I would never have come up with the idea for GA Center. Didn't give me any other bloody epiphanies. Not any good ones like GA Center. I remember it fondly. I was sat on the toilet. I had my epiphany, and I was like, Flair, I've had this idea. I need to run it by you. And you're like, you just come from the toilet. Yes, it's my epiphany toilet, and that was that. And then a big thanks to just everybody, basically everyone in general.
Nev, I just want to
you want me to pause for something? Obviously,
I just want to point out that all the rest of the ideas that came from the Epiphany toilet were just crap. Anyway, go on.
Thanks to so definitely a shout out to Flair for that, without a doubt. Let's see, who else would I give a shout out? A shout out to big shout out to Warrior Presents. Because without him, I would without his 4 pillars, I probably wouldn't have started content creating.
even though it was, my start was from a toilet, from a tablet. It all began for me on a tablet. But it's like, I wonder if it works. Let's try it. So I did, and this is where I am since then. A big shout out to the Muppets of Endor, who was the first big real guild that I was with that actually had me taking the game seriously, because I was just, all at sea before that guild. Big shout out to the daddy in that, because he did actually get me my celebration ticket back in 2019, which was very nice. It's very nice. It's like I can't get a celebration. It's 30 minutes down the road from me, and I can't. And they're like, "Really? Is it 30 minutes?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "Oh, I'll buy you a ticket." I'm like, "Oh wow, really? Yeah. Good. Just make sure you go to the booth and get me as much free loot as possible." So I did that. So big shout out to that guild and the guild leader there that did that. Shout out to Ranger RSG for
they were heavy in getting us started,
for being supportive. And if I'm up tomorrow, I'll definitely jump on RSG and I'll be like, Ranger, you missed the season. It'll be like, what? It's like,
Ranger has an excuse. It's his mom's birthday today, so he didn't even do a lunch stream today. So
no worries. So big shout out to Ranger and RSG.
Thank you. From me as well. Thank you very much for all the support and all the fun. I will never forget flicking beans with Finity. That was always fun.
Big shout out to every single content creator that joined the GA Center, because if they hadn't joined it, it would have been bloody difficult doing it.
We would not have had a show.
We would not have had a show. We would not have had a show if it wasn't for the 102, 103. I think it's 102, 103 content creators came through after like 7 seasons of the show.
If it wasn't for your Epiphany toilet,
if it wasn't,
and enough people wanting to take part in this, and full reference, again, I was this little small guy in as far as like accounts go and like streaming everything. Here we go. It's like, oh, we're literally covering all of the main content creators. Oh, okay.
All of them.
That first season had Arnold, Mobile Gamer, because he hadn't quit in season 1. He quit halfway through season 1. We had Urza played, he hadn't quit. So we had all of every season 1 had every single big name content creator involved one way or another. Every single one of them. Because none of them would quit then. Everybody was still playing. If you look at all of the people that we covered in that, and look how many have quit now that aren't playing. It's nuts, and it's 2 years. It's only 2 years. So yeah, big shout out to all those content creators that made it possible, and every single guest that gave us the time to do our show. Because unlike lots of other stuff that was pre-recorded. I know lots of content creators that would pre-record so that they could do the edit and then put it on their channels. We always had to do everything live, with the exception of people when we were doing UK content. When we did like European or Euro content creators, that had to be pre-recorded. But to have someone to say, look, we need you live. Bang on this time in order for it to work, please. I mean, even Arnold, the Grand Admiral Arnold T101 did his segment live on GA Center, and that was he was then and still is now the largest of all of the content creators, and he gave us the time to do that, and he sat there on the bridge. We're like, yeah, we need, because I remember chatting with him. We need the full character. Can you do the full character? We don't want art. We want the Admiral. Give us the Admiral. And he did the full. So yeah, it was. Yeah. So yeah. Big shout out to all those people. Definitely.
Don't forget about SEP and SWGOH.GG for being willing to help us out and doing
very big even bigger shout out to SWGOH.GG SEP. Doing those scrapes every single week for us.
Not to mention that our show was part of the reason why they could develop some of their site tech the way they could.
Yeah.
We
the way
helped
did the
with
show,
the
gave
counters.
gave Sep all those various different ideas on GAC, and we got he'd like, oh, we're going to be doing this, and we'd get all in the production. We would get all of the we'd get all of the juicy. Oh, we're about to do this, and this is going to be going live, and we're like, really? I'm like, oh wow, and then all those,
and we get to know it before everyone else, and it was
it
awesome.
just made all that SWGOH.gg stuff just made GAC so much better. I mean, it's had its heyday. It has had its heyday, but it was the greatest game mode ever created for a mobile game, without a doubt.
Yep. Sarlacc says, what a hell of a ride. Since the beginning, I knew this was going to be something special, and that it was and always will be, and what awesome people we've gotten to interact with as a result. Well done, gentlemen, and here's to the future with a salute. Ray Rock, my second favorite Spartan, because my best friend's my first favorite. For a Michigan fan and alumni, which I'm not, but I'll let it pass here. You're okay in my book, Paul. We will miss you in Nev's podcast. Ray Rock, back at you, buddy. You're not a bad guy for being a Sparty. My gosh, any final words before we wrap it up? But I'm gonna mainly say, but I was gonna
interrupt, but I need to leave. I apologize. I have to.
No worries. Zep, are you gonna be on later tonight?
Other realms. Pardon?
Are you gonna be on later tonight?
I'm getting ready to hit the button. That's part of where I gotta go.
We'll rate into you for old time's sake. How's that sound?
Love you guys.
All right. We'll see you in a bit, my friend.
All right.
Bob, I want to get your, we know that you're appreciative of us, but what has been your favorite part in this, aside from, being a part of TEPc itself?
This is like a cheesy answer, but everything, man. Like, my game has stepped up so much since I met you. You've helped me in so many ways, and I'm not gonna say I appreciate you, but I told you earlier in DMs, like, this is what I've always wanted to be part of: a community, some buddies to hang out with and talk crap about things that we have in common. I've played SWGOH for 7 years. It was my life before I even thought about content creating. It took a big part of my life, and dude, the community. I didn't know so many people played this game, let alone streamed it. And then I've made so many friends through you and through other things. People see me on your side or somewhere and come to it, and we all have the same circle of friends. But man, this is something I look forward to every single week. And I know you're not leaving, and I got other shows still on the thing, but nothing beats you in Nev. Like, like, I love Old Man Cantina, and like you said, I agree. I was just on their show last week. There's no one better to replace you guys, and this isn't taken away from them, but no one can beat Nev and Paul. So that's why it's so sad. It's you guys are just great together, and you guys are someone I look forward to hanging out with on the show, even outside of it. Like, me and Nev, we play the runes and stuff. You know what I mean? We all have our own things. You and I play Fallout. Yep. So, but like, I've told you this, and I know you said you won't. Don't lose contact with me. This goes for you too, Nev. Like, whenever you're feeling like some runes, man, hit me up. And I just want to stay in contact with you guys. And that goes for the rest of the community, man. We freaking love you too.
Kyle.
We love you guys. Stay around.
Kyle, you have my stream key. I can't go far.
Okay. All right.
Same with you, Flair. Yes, you do. Same with you, Flair. What do you, I'm guessing GA Center was your favorite, but
I mean, I think part of it was GA Center. Part of it was kind of in cooperation with you guys was the whole chain gang and getting that going and getting that running. That was an undertaking of a project for me and Andy, and then to have you guys come along with us as well and take part in all that. Man, all of this has been crazy and it's been insane, and this has been the thing I put a lot of time into, and there's still a lot more time to be put into this because, again, we've got the sister show that we've got coming up here pretty soon. So we've got We've got a lot of stuff still happening.
So you guys are not able to do the 13th. So technically, which, yeah, I'm a little like, I wish it wasn't, but you guys are taking another 2 weeks.
Hey, gentlemen.
Yeah, the old lady is making me go take photos with her, so I can't cancel on it.
I have IRL staff stuff that I have to go and do because I also do ministry, and so yeah.
So I apologize.
Wait, you have other jobs?
Dude, it feels like I work way too many jobs.
But after that, we should be set back there.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yep, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen, joining the show as we're about to wrap this up will be your new SWGOH host for the Escape Podcast, subtitled the Private Cantina Reserve, or whatever we're going to do. You know, the best part is that as we've said earlier today, you guys are the only people who I think could have, slid into the spot as it is.
I am still ridiculously humbled, grateful. I've been a fan of your guys' show, and I don't take this lightly. This is a huge responsibility. My job is going to be to maintain the product. For it does not skip a beat. All the information, it will be there. But also, the Immortal One and I, we're gonna add our banter, our sense of humor, PG, of course, on the Escape Podcast because that's how it was. And I think a big comedy aspect is going to be people watching the old man try to, not try. Try not, do or do not.
No, do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah, you will censor yourself. So that is going to be comedy in itself. But I'm looking forward to this challenge of filling immensely large shoes, and I am just humbled, privileged, and honored to have you guys select us to carry on this torch, and we are going to bust our rear ends to make sure that it is one of the best damn shows and products out there.
I'm going to be right there. Any hand holding that Kane needs, because he's the flair of the group. He's got the he's the one with the computer
guys.
that can do it.
Without these guys, there's no shows.
Wait a minute. Kane brings the tech savvy. I just bring the sarcasm and wit and bourbon. I just bring like drinks and
dude, you guys
my
are
own
awesome.
Bizarre sense of humor.
I had such a great time with you guys, and I was like, I'm gonna say something to Paul. Maybe he'll put you guys on instead. And you guys must have started talking and didn't say anything to me because it all became a surprise. I was like, so did he say anything? And you didn't even text me back. Logan.
Nope.
I didn't. I'm sorry. It was not my place to say anything to anybody until the episode where he announced it.
I agree.
It wasn't my spot.
No, I'm glad you did it, man. It's a great surprise. So I'm just glad you're on, man. We're gonna have a lot of good times ahead of us.
No, Bob, that episode we did with you, man, that was in the old man's cantina. That was a solid episode. That was a lot of fun. And I like where this is headed. Again, big shoes to follow, but
you guys are the guys to do it.
Yeah,
I have 100% confidence in you guys.
Yeah,
we'll kill it.
I'm still following up with I'm just and to keep it PG for you guys, I'm just trying not to mess this up.
Hey, trust me, you could do worse.
And we'll be watching.
Yeah, watch Strike Force.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that Christmas Eve show.
Woo!
So there is I will kind of pull the curtain back a little bit. Kane and Dan, Bob's the reason why I was so comfortable with the thing, because he actually came to me and he was like, we really need to do something with them. We really need to do something. I'm like, yeah, I know.
It's keep your pantyhose on there, Bob.
Hey, go suck a baguette, man.
And start referring to it as the croissant.
I'll never go to Panera Bread ever again.
Croissant baguette.
We are running really, really late. Seth, did you have anything you wanted to share on this before we wrap this all up?
Just a real big thank you to you guys. I actually double checked when I joined the Escape Pod server, and it was November of 19.
Right.
And
Yeah,
you guys have been a huge part of even my daily life in terms of just your guys' work that you do, always checking in, even before you and I were guildmates, even.
Yeah.
Your guys' show is part of my regular routine.
I'm promising not to get verklempt.
This is random, but like a shout out to Thaddeus too. I mean, you guys had some great. I love watching your guys' reaction stuff, and like we gotta say thank you to Thaddeus, man.
So
I love that guy.
So we're not going too far. Starting because the Bad Batch the new season of the Bad Batch starts next Wednesday. For those that follow TEPc as a brand itself overall, do know that we do the show with Thaddeus of reactions to Star Wars and other nerd content.
So Breaking Bad Batch.
Breaking Bad Batch.
This one's it's because it's season 2. It'll be Breaking Bad Batch: The Next Generation,
or Breaking Bad Batch: Electric Boogaloo.
Breaking Bad Batch Strikes Again, because obviously it's a sequel.
Breaking Bad
titles.
Breaking Bad Batch: Die Harder.
Who comes up with the titles? Because they're genius. Every one of you guys
we just throw them around in Discord until we find something that sticks.
Exactly.
They're perfect. Yeah.
So much for Better Call Hunter, huh?
No. But that might be Better Call Maul.
That's better. Yeah.
I'm waiting for Jesse to come out and go, I play SWGOH, bitch.
I already know the title of the Ahsoka. It's going to be the something about Ahsoka.
I love it. Love it.
Well, you got Analyzing Andor already, so
yeah,
Analyzing Andor. Yeah.
Yep. Talking Mando instead of Talking Dead.
Yep.
We play off the things. I highly doubt he's ever going to see this, but I'm going to just say it. Thank you to Chris Hardwick for always being an inspiration of going after the nerdy things that you love. So if for some reason you see this, Chris, thank you very much for being a beacon of getting off your duff and actually, doing something to entertain not just others, but yourself. BCM, I'm going to go to you, and then we're going to wrap this whole thing up. BCM, anything that you want to that you wanted to mention before we do?
Going over the big memories from the show, and it was kind of a double-edged sword, but it was back in the old days when we were still just doing Discord.
Just Discord.
With all the sound problems and everything. It was the first Crumb interview we did in Discord. Trying to moderate a Discord forum with we had like 150 people in there. And it was just Helly and I just in there, just yeeting people left and right. But it was fun. It was exciting. It was a great show. It was hard work because you just couldn't keep up with it. But yeah, and then we moved to Twitch, and you guys, boosted my career, got me to affiliate, and all the other, low hanging streamers that were just starting that got interviewed. You guys boosted us all, and I wouldn't have met Helly without you guys. I would, I got in touch with Ranger, and now I'm doing lunch streams with him every day. Gom, all of them, all the big streamers, just the community that you've created and let us all be a part of is just.
I didn't let you all be a part of. I just opened the door and you guys came in, and I was happy to have you.
You didn't kick us out.
I didn't kick you out. There's only a few people.
Some of us.
I'm gonna address one thing. There are a few people who have been yeeted the hell out of the server. I'm gonna mention that.
Yes, there has been.
But yeah, I didn't do it lightly. None of us took it lightly, and each and every single one that happened, every single one of us here, well, minus Logan and Kane because you weren't around for that, but every single one of us here, we debated: do we really want to do this? Do we want to, try to help?
I remember the debates in the special server.
Yeah,
I remember many combos about some of them.
But yeah, it's just being the general community that you've helped create and that we're all part of, and it's just it extends so much farther. I mean, we're all friends in real life too. We would, you guys could have the shirt off my back if you needed it, and I'm sure it's the same. It's a mutual feeling.
You did give me the shirt off your back, and it's the reason why I can smile right now. I know you don't want the recognition for that, but I do have to say thank you, and I want to say it publicly again. You helped them make this happen.
If my situation's changed, but if I the same thing, if I can do it, I give it to you.
And the same goes always for
any one of you.
Any one of you guys. Same goes for me. So if I can make it happen, I will. I love you too, guys.
And so yeah, that's all I gotta say. So I'll say let's get out of here.
All right, Logan, Kane, any parting words before we wrap it up, TEPc style?
Yeah, I do have one thing I wanted to add, and that was for anybody that may be feeling a little trepidation or about this very, very important, very drastic change in what's going on. I think the only thing I'd like to keep people in mind, keep in mind for the listeners that are going to continue to support the show is please give Kane and I a chance. It's going to be weird seeing two other people in the cockpit of the Falcon.
Well, no, you guys are the Falcon's taken off. The Purgle are ready to take this ship away.
Yeah,
we're going. So, I'm downloading Bob and I'm sending it over to your Cantina. That's how this is going to be.
So it's still going to.
You get the ship. You don't get the ship. The Millennial Fulcrum. No. We paid top dollar for this ship. We're taking.
They couldn't wait to get rid of me though. So
it's a piece of junk, but it made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs. But it
did.
But no, the biggest thing is stick with us. I think you're going to be very pleasantly surprised with some of the things that Kane and I have already kind of talked about and brainstormed. And nothing's really going to change. The format, the production value, everything is going to be the same. It's just with different people that have the same passion and love the community,
but different perspectives
that the original gentlemen that did this have. So same thing, love the community. And Paul and Nev, I was watching you guys before me ever even doing this was a twinkle in my eye. So the fact that I've been blessed with this, I can't say thank you enough. I'm going to treat this as gold because that's what it is. This is a beautiful show. It has reached so many people and it's made them happy. You guys have made so many people happy on their commute to work, while they're at work, something to listen to, something to feel welcome, something to feel like they belong. And you guys have done that. And it is my privilege and honor to bust my ass to continue that for you and Nev. And I'm going to do everything in my power to continue that tradition of what you two have created. And I could not be further humbled that you've asked us to do this. And I will give it 150% as if I was still out in the field.
I know you would. I know you will. I know you will.
You can't top that, man. Like he said that. That's how I wanted to say it, Logan. And dude, I'm so excited for you to take over though, in everything you said. But you guys are gonna do it. You guys are the perfect ones to hand it to. So
Stevie B says thanks for all you've done for keeping. Sorry, I'm I am getting emotional. Damn it. Thanks for all you've done.
Myself, I wouldn't cry.
I know. Keeping me enjoying the game. Love y'all. Catch y'all on the flip side. We're, that's the perfect way to say it, Nev. Would you agree? We're just flipping the coaster over.
Mm-hmm. You're probably going to have the waterworks going just a second, Paul. Logan knows I'm a gamer. I've always been a gamer. I've done tournaments. I've tried to do streaming and content creation for probably the last 20 years. And without you, Nev, and Logan, I don't think that I would be where I'm at right now. You guys put me here.
I'm gonna answer this, Nev. Kane, you put yourself here with your determination and your know-how and and your fortitude.
Yep.
All I'm doing is handing you a key. It's up to you to turn it and drive it.
And also, one of my best friends in playing these games, who I wanted to be here, because I did. I was watching a movie with the family, and I raced up here because I knew it was ending, and I wanted to say hello. But my son is here, who has also been in the grind of SWGOH and Marvel Strike Force, and I told him what was going on, and he was, buddy, say hi. This is my son. He's stationed up at Fort Drum.
Thank you for your service, my friend.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, thank my recruiter.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to your dad then.
I told him what happened, and he actually said to me, well, Dad, they picked the right person. So I went, oh, wow, okay. But
most definitely.
Yeah, I'm really, again, humbled and just ridiculously stoked for this opportunity to reach such an audience in SWGOH and to make them feel welcome and at home, and to chat and interact with the community in a more broader sense. And I couldn't be more pleased and more thankful.
Amen.
Yeah.
Love y'all.
All right.
Thank you guys for everything.
Nev, it's your turn. Close us out.
Okay. Push the button.
No, I mean, I haven't said the catchphrase yet.
I'm ready to go. Let's go.
I know you're ready to go, but is there anything else that you want to say before we do wrap it up? I mean, is there special shout outs that you have?
Don't screw it up.
We're gonna try.
No. I've already done it. So I'd just be repeating myself.
Yeah, you did.
I know we're just trying to stretch this on longer and longer and longer and longer. No,
we're wrapping it up.
Shouted out everybody I want to shout out.
Okay.
I'm happy that the show's going to be in good hands. I'm happy that the show's going to be in good hands. We'll do. I'm sure you'll rope us into doing segments for you at some point in the not too distant future.
Next Sunday, AD.
So yeah. I'm happy to I'm happy to move on and do something different, I guess.
Yeah, and Flair just posted the link to twitch.tv/the Old Man's Cantina. Easiest thing. The private reserve will be here on the Escape Podcast channel when it's SWGOH week.
Yep.
And as we said, we're not going anywhere. We'll be back with Thad's with the television show reaction shows, and we're going to be here every fifth Sunday of those months that, or not Sunday, but Friday of those months that have 5 in them, and we're going to have fun. I mean,
oh my God, yeah.
We might bring this whole group back together again.
Oh Lord,
no,
that'd be fun for that.
That'd be cool. I'm down. Bring it.
Bring all the hosts of TEPc up.
The SWGOH round table.
Oh, I love round tables. When stuff hits the fan in the game and you get a bunch of people around it that all give opinions, that's some of the best content creation you can get right there, is when you get just this combination of multiple perspectives. That's where I feel like real brainstorming for this game happens.
All right. If you're a Patreon, or if you've become a sub through gifting, or you did it yourself, we hope that you'll join us for the final regular vanilla TEPc after show. Otherwise, we're going to go raid Dr. Zeppers and, make sure that you give him some love as well. For the final time, be nice to each other, damn it. Neil?
Push the button.
Don't mind if I do.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.